little hay there going somewhere. Well, good morning. Bobby Lee here from Hurricane Creek Farms. Had a big chance of rain yesterday. Called a rain. Yeah, only about 1/10 of an inch. Very disappointing. But anyway, I guess we'll take it because we don't really have any other option. But yeah, needing some rain. We're really dry. I know our guys that are in harvest, you know, aren't really looking for that, even though some of the soybeans could still use it to finish them out. But anyway, appreciate y'all watching. Let's get after it. Well, there's a few of these calves. Just pulling up down here. Check on this crew kind of first thing like we like to do most days. Yeah, fairly overcast this morning, but yeah, just about 0% chance of rain. I think it might have said 1% chance, just because. I mean, I guess eventually, you know, enough 1% chances you'll eventually catch one of those, but you're not looking too promising. But get backed up here. I actually brought some feed with me, even though we got the feed bin down here. I knew I was gonna be driving the truck. Feed bin's really nice when I'm doing like routine daily checks, and I'm in the Jeep, because the Jeep's not really fit for hauling a bunch of buckets of feed with you. Bin's just getting low here. Bin at home is not, just because we hadn't been feeding anything out of it. So I said, well, while we're using the truck this morning, we'll carry some feed with us. Yep. Looks like the bulk of them right down here. A few coming from that way. We'll get this feed put out. Try to get a head count on them. I need to get the troughs arranged a little better where it's not just one big mass of beef out there and I can count them easier. That appears to be all of them, but they won't hold their spots long enough for me to count everybody. But yeah, we're in pretty good shape here. The reason we are in the truck today is did go ahead and make the decision. We're gonna go ahead and grab a fertilizer buggy, get some nitrogen, spread on some pasture. It's I don't know, it's a judgment call. Normally we would like to wait until there was a little more certainty of rain in the forecast, but yeah, we're just tired of waiting on it. And reality, like yesterday, let's say the forecast we had yesterday was actually for tomorrow, where it was real good chance of rain. And to the weatherman's credit, it did rain. Like, he didn't lie. But, you know, my app actually at one point yesterday said up to an inch. Well, we got 10% of that. We got 1/10 of an inch, which is not enough, you know, typically after we're fertilizing, to feel good about, you know, getting that fertilizer in the ground where those plants can utilize it. But anyway, no rain in the forecast hardly at all, just little chances. But we're gonna go ahead and pull the trigger on this, get it done, and then we'll start praying for rain. All right, we got a buggy, got a little urea. Back home, yeah, didn't get a whole lot. We're just getting over these creek bottoms back here. Too, with there not being a lot of rain in the forecast, really any rain to speak of in the forecast, you know, didn't want to, you know, scatter a bunch of money out there on the ground, you know, without that real confidence. But the big question now, other than will it ever rain, is the tractor going to start? But we'll find out here in a second. That's another thing. I need to test this tractor out, be sure it's not going to leak a little oil around that filter. We're in good shape on oil. Double check over here. does not look like it's been dripping since we replaced that, but we shall find out. But yeah, put a battery on this tractor, or had, you know, first choice Kubota when it came out, worked on the air conditioner, just because we knew the battery was getting a little weak. But in spite of that, it has not wanted to fire right off a couple of times since then. So fingers crossed. So, as I kind of expected or predicted, we're gonna have to boost it off. We're also gonna have to make a phone call to them because it's not acceptable. Brand new battery, not sure what the deal is. Have them come out and look at it. But yeah, might as well get the booster cables out and see if we can get her jumped off. We could spread the fertilizer with that smaller tractor. In fact, I think I'm going to. There's just, yeah, I think I'm gonna do that. I just convinced myself of that. Yeah, go ahead and call them, have them come look at it, see what the deal is. Before I use the baler again, which would be nice, just leave it hooked up, do need to go push some trees out of the field. I know I've been talking about that and just haven't done it. We're gonna do that with this tractor, but they just need the bigger machine to do that. Just haven't gotten around to it yet. So, and in doing that, we'll have to unhook it from the baler anyway. So it's kind of my thought process, but yeah, just in the interest of time and making my life a little easier, I think we'll just hook up to the smaller tractor. This buggy was loaded. You'd feel it, yeah, that extra horsepower would be nice, but everything we're spreading is super flat. We're not gonna be on any hills. We don't really need that extra weight or extra horsepower. And just to explain for a second kind of what we're doing, you know, I mentioned the word stockpiling or stockpiling fescue. So of course fescue being a cool season grass, which we've also got orchard grass out here, you know, as far as our cool seasons, a lot of warm season grasses as well. But as we move into fall, you know, the fescue really starts to hit its stride again. And so, you know, putting this nitrogen, you know, just adding fertilizer, try to get some real quick growth, you know, as much as we can over these next several weeks. Traditionally, because it's middle of September as we record this, we got probably another 6 to maybe 8 weeks, probably closer to 6 weeks, before we should get a frost. Could always get one a little earlier, but stockpile that growth. We won't let any animals back out here pretty much until we have to. Ideally, you know, maybe even like middle of November. And you know, then we've got all that grass stockpiled, as the name would obviously indicate, and just push back our hay feeding season, extend the grazing season as much as we can. I think the general rule of thumb in our area is about August 15th is when, you know, you can pull the cows off these pastures, go ahead and get it fertilized and start that stockpiling process. And we would have loved to have had this fertilizer spread 3 or 4 weeks ago. Just the weather and our schedule and everything else just has not allowed, really the primary thing being the rain. But finally just had to make the decision to go ahead and spread it, whether there's rain in the forecast or not. And actually one of the guys at Helena, I believe lives over, you know, a county or so over from us. They got nearly an inch of rain yesterday, where we got, you know, a 1/10. And so that's what he and I were talking about. You never know when on one of these days it's, you know, a 10% chance of rain. You could be in that magic area that gets a pop-up shower and you get a 1/2 inch or more. So that's what we're counting on. We're gonna get this spread, and then it's just starting to pray for a little rain from here. Okay, got that 20 acres or so fertilized. Didn't take long at all. Yep, got just a little more fertilizer in there. We get that shake down. Scatter it out up here where we got some hay. But yeah, one more thing checked off the to-do list. We'll get hooked back on the truck and get this buggy delivered back up to our local Helena store. A little hay there going somewhere. I don't know, we don't see a whole lot of that around these parts. Big truckloads of hay. I don't know. I doubt it's anybody buying hay to be shipped in here. One, just because there's not a whole lot of cattle in our county. Two, we've had plenty of hay this year, plenty of rain. I don't know, my assumption would be shipping that maybe off somewhere where they haven't been as fortunate as far as you know, hay crop this year. Okay, back home, and one benefit of riding around on the tractor out here in the pasture spreading fertilizer this morning, we got to identify some areas where we got a few weeds and some thistles and cocoa burrs. These are already really trying to bloom, so not only are we going to chop those, we're probably going to get them out of here where there's not any chance, or at least minimize the chance of that seed creating a problem for us into the future. And here on this side of the creek, cockle burrs, I could tell from the tractor, were a lot worse than I thought earlier on. There. There's a bunch up there. Oh yeah, pretty thick through here. So, yep, in hindsight, we probably should have sprayed out here. But as you can also see, lots of clover. We would have sacrificed that. So, we're gonna do a little manual weed control. Pull these cockle burrs, try to avoid having 10 times this many again next year. They pull up pretty easy too. But yeah, we did not spray other than just around the edges. We had a few thistles, kind of some spots like that. We didn't really spray these creek bottoms. Sprayed a little more over on the neighbor's place. But that's all. Pasture's been established for years and years. You know, we just replanted all this in pasture 2 or 3 years ago, so we don't have a lot of weed pressure out here. But yeah, these cockle burrs, one of the exceptions. But yeah, we'll see if we can get most of this pulled up, and then need to check cows. We got a little drone footage of them when we were spreading fertilizer, but get over there and actually lay our eyeballs on them, be sure everything's in good shape. Just looking at the state of the pastures they're currently in, you see we're really in good shape. Even in spite of no rain in the last month or so, they've been back in here. Trying to remember what day we let them back in here. I think it may have been like 10 days ago, and I mean, still plenty of grazing. This is over on the neighbor's place, and we sprayed over here, but haven't done anything. I mean, haven't put the first speck of fertilizer on it the entire time we've had it. Entire time we've had it rented, I should say, the last several years. So really happy with these pastures. This is good ground. It was in pretty good shape when we started renting it. One thing that it has benefited from with us is we've been rotating, whereas previous tenant, of course, because he didn't have our place to graze as well, they kind of graze out here continuously. So that it has certainly benefited from being rotationally grazed. But anyway, let's see, I think one thistle right up there, we can go chop it, and then we can get that closer look at the cows. Of course, some of these, the blooms hadn't really opened yet, and others they have, so just be careful with those, you know, so we can get them contained, get them out of here before all those seeds get back in the ground. Okay, cows tucked up in here, kind of in a shady area, looking pretty good. Actually, I just made an order when I ran inside and ate lunch real quick. got our vaccine on the way and whatnot, in preparation for weaning these calves in the next couple of months. What's going to be a little bit of a concern, or we're going to have to work around, is when we're getting our new barn built, our new cover over our working facilities. We have to disassemble the working facilities, so I don't know. What may end up working out is we can get these calves run through one time, get them vaccinated, and that's kind of my plan. Vaccinate them, castrate the bull calves, that sort of thing. You know, then run them back through 2 or 3 weeks later, vaccinate them again, and ideally do all that, you know, several weeks before we actually wean them. You know, a lot of times you wean, you vaccinate, you do all that at once. Obviously weaning is a stressful time in their life, where they're more prone to sickness. You worry about, A, is that vaccine that effective in an animal that's stressed and a little bit immunocompromised because of that stress? And 2, you'd rather them have all that immunity before you wean them, you know, and already in their system, because again, same reason, they're stressed, they're more likely to get sick. So I think that's kind of my tentative plan, is we're gonna go on this antelope hunt. As soon as I get back in town from that, look at running everything through the chute. Of course, when we run them through, we can go ahead and get blood from the cows as well, and get them ready to, or just decide who gets to hang around for another year, and whoever's open, we will sell after the calves are weaned. But anyway, rambling about that. Yeah, and then we got to get everything disassembled out of the way for that building to get constructed. But been a good day. Would love to have some rain in the forecast. You have to go out about 10 days before there's, you know, real rain chances, and they're like 20 and 30% chances, which, looking at a forecast that far out, of course, is a bit of a fool's errand. But we're gonna hope. The next few days it's like 1% chance. I'm like, probably not gonna catch a rain on those days. At least like on those 10% days, you're like, well, so you're saying there's a chance, kind of thing. But who knows? Pray for a little rain. Y'all keep tuning back in, appreciate it. Give the video a thumbs up, hit subscribe if you haven't. Should be getting into a lot more action as we move into the fall. Thank you to those of you who are also listening to the Talk Dirt to Me podcast, or watching it right here on YouTube. If you have been listening, you know we got a big contest giveaway coming up. It's gonna be cool. Go to talkdirtpodcast.com for more information on that, or just listen to the podcast. But anyway, rambling as I tend to do at the end of a video. Appreciate y'all watching. Believe I'm gonna eat some tamales tonight. Some locally made tamales by a friend of ours. And yes, you know good and well they're beef tamales. So we're gonna eat beef. Y'all eat beef, and God bless.